You know that feeling, don't you? The quiet of the night, the house is still, and then your eyes just pop open. You look at the clock, and there it is. That number staring back at you, 2 a.m. Or maybe it's 2:15 or 2:30, but it's always around that same time. And you think, here we go again. You try to drift back off. You rearrange your pillow. You pull the blanket up, but your mind starts to stir. Or maybe you just feel wide awake, stuck in that frustrating in-between state. It happens night after night, leaving you tired, groggy, and wondering, why me? Why is 2 a.m. the magic hour for my body to decide sleep is over? It's a painful reality for so many of us. This interrupted sleep that steals our energy and leaves us feeling less than our best the next day. You might feel alone in this, but trust me, you're not. This is incredibly common, especially as we get a little older. But here's the thing. It's not just a random annoyance you have to put up with. There are real reasons this is happening, and understanding them is the first step to getting those peaceful nights back. In this video, we're going to explore some of the most common culprits behind that 2 a.m. wake-up call and, more importantly, practical, simple things you can do about it. We'll look at how our bodies change, how daily habits can play a big role, and even how your own thoughts might be keeping you awake. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll have a clearer picture of what might be going on and some gentle ways to encourage your body to sleep through the night. And be sure to watch to the very end for something that might surprise you about this whole 2 a.m. phenomenon. So, let's dive into why you might be waking up right around that time. One of the most common, and perhaps the most natural, reasons involves how our sleep changes as we age. It's a simple fact of life, really. Think of sleep like a journey through different stages. We have light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep, where we dream. When we're younger, we spend more time in deep, restorative sleep, and our sleep cycles are a bit more robust, less easily disturbed. As we get older, the architecture of our sleep changes. We tend to spend less time in that deep sleep and more time in lighter stages. Our sleep also becomes more fragmented naturally. This means we might wake up more easily to disturbances, whether it's a sound, a temperature change, or just nothing at all. Around 2 a.m. is often a transition point in our sleep cycle. We might be moving from a period of deep sleep back towards lighter sleep, or even a brief natural awakening before starting a new cycle. If our sleep is already lighter overall, these natural transitions can become full awakenings instead of just brief stirs we immediately sleep through, like we might have done in our younger years. It's not necessarily a problem, just a difference in how our sleep is structured now. But what turns that brief natural stir into a frustrating wide-awake moment? Well, that's where other factors come in. And they often interact with this natural change in sleep architecture. For example, maybe your bladder is calling, nocturia, which is the need to wake up during the night to go to the bathroom, becomes much more common as we age, affecting both men and women. As we get older, our bodies produce less of a hormone that helps us concentrate urine overnight, meaning the bladder fills up faster. Also, the bladder muscle itself can become less elastic. If you combine these natural changes with that lighter sleep around 2 a.m., a mildly full bladder can be enough to push you from a light sleep state into full wakefulness. Suddenly, you're not just stirring, you're aware you need to go. And once you're up, getting back to sleep can be tough. Simple steps can sometimes help with this. Think about when you're drinking fluids, especially in the evening. Trying to front-load your fluid intake earlier in the day and reducing it in the couple of hours before bed can make a difference. Of course, it's important to stay hydrated throughout the day, so don't drastically cut back on fluids overall. Just shift the timing. Some people find certain drinks, like caffeine or alcohol, are particularly disruptive because they have a diuretic effect, meaning they make you need to go more often. Limiting these, especially later in the day, can be helpful. Even things like elevation of the legs in the evening can help reduce fluid buildup that might otherwise redistribute when you lie down, leading to more urine production overnight. If you're on any medications, it's worth talking to your doctor, as some medications can increase urine production or affect bladder control. They might be able to suggest adjusting the timing or trying a different medication if it's appropriate and safe for you. Another physical reason that often aligns with that 2 a.m. window is pain or discomfort. Maybe it's arthritis in your knee, stiffness in your back, or just a general ache that wasn't bothering you when you first fell asleep. As the night wears on, and you're lying still, these aches and pains can become more noticeable. Around 2 a.m., you might shift position, the pain flares up, and suddenly you're awake. The quiet of the night can also make pain feel more intense because there are fewer distractions. Managing pain effectively during the day can sometimes help reduce nighttime disruption. This might involve gentle exercise recommended by your doctor or a physical therapist, using heat or cold therapy, or timing pain medication if you take it. Perhaps trying an extended release option if that's suitable and your doctor agrees. Simple things like making sure your mattress and pillows are supportive can also make a surprising difference. Sometimes, just having the wrong pillow can lead to neck or shoulder pain that wakes you up. And then, there are lifestyle factors that silently contribute to this middle-of-the-night awakening. Things like eating a large meal too close to bedtime can cause indigestion or discomfort that disrupts sleep. Spicy foods, acidic foods, or just very heavy, fatty meals can all be culprits. Your body is busy trying to digest when it should be winding down. The same goes for caffeine and alcohol, but not just because they might make you need the bathroom. Caffeine is a stimulant, and while you might feel tired when you go to bed, it can still be circulating in your system hours later, leading to lighter, more easily disrupted sleep. Alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, but it actually disrupts the later, more restorative stages of sleep, leading to awakenings later in the night. Having a drink in the evening can almost guarantee a wake-up call around 2 a.m. as your body finishes processing it. Even lack of physical activity during the day can play a role. Not getting enough movement can mean your body isn't physically tired enough to sustain deep, consolidated sleep. A sedentary day can actually make sleep more fragmented. Of course, it's important not to overdo it with exercise, especially close to bedtime, as that can be too stimulating. But gentle, regular activity during the day can greatly improve sleep quality. Think about a brisk walk earlier in the day, some gardening, or light stretching. All these daily habits, from what we eat and drink to how much we move, can subtly influence our sleep cycles and contribute to that frustrating 2 a.m. awakening. It's about creating a foundation for restful sleep throughout the day, not just in the hour before bed. Now that we've touched upon some of the physical and lifestyle factors, let's explore another big player. And that big player is often what's going on in our minds. If you're waking up around 2 a.m., is your brain suddenly buzzing? Are worries from the day or anxieties about tomorrow popping into your head? Stress and anxiety are huge sleep disruptors, and they often manifest in the quiet of the night when there are no distractions. Our minds can become hyperactive when the world outside is still. Around 2 a.m., as mentioned earlier, you might be in a lighter phase of sleep, and if your mind is primed with worries, that's the perfect opportunity for it to click into gear and wake you up. Maybe you're thinking about finances, or family, or appointments, or even just the fact that you're awake. The worry about not sleeping can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You wake up, you get anxious about being awake, and that anxiety makes it harder to fall back asleep. It's a vicious cycle. Learning to manage stress and quiet the mind before bed can be incredibly helpful. This isn't about eliminating stress entirely, which is often impossible, but finding ways to process it so it doesn't hijack your sleep. Simple relaxation techniques can make a world of difference. Things like deep breathing exercises, just slow, deep breaths, Focusing on the rise and fall of your chest can help calm your nervous system. Progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense and then release different muscle groups in your body, can help release physical tension that often accompanies mental stress. Even just taking a few minutes to write down whatever is on your mind a couple of hours before bed can be effective. Get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Some people find that keeping a small notepad by the bed is useful. So if a worry does pop up at 2 a.m., you can quickly jot it down with the promise to think about it in the morning. And, hopefully, that allows your mind to let go of it for the moment. Creating a calming wind-down routine in the hour or so before bed signals to your body and mind that it's time to transition to sleep. This could be reading a physical book, avoiding screens, listening to quiet music, doing some gentle stretching, or taking a warm bath. Consistency is key with this. Over time, this routine helps condition your brain to associate these activities with sleepiness. Beyond what's happening internally with stress, your external environment plays a huge role. The temperature of your bedroom, for instance, is surprisingly important. Most sleep experts agree that a slightly cooler room is best for sleep. If your room is too warm, it can make you restless and trigger awakenings. Your body temperature naturally dips during the night, and a cool environment supports this. Experiment with your thermostat or bedroom temperature to find what feels most comfortable for you. Usually somewhere between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. 15 to 19 degrees Celsius is recommended, but find what works for you. Similarly, light and noise disruptions can easily pull you out of those lighter sleep stages. Even small amounts of light, like the glow from a digital clock or a street lamp outside your window, can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that helps regulate sleep. Investing in blackout curtains can be a game changer. Similarly, unexpected noises, like traffic, a partner snoring, or even the house settling, can wake you up. Earplugs can be very effective for blocking out noise. Or some people find white noise or a fan helps create a consistent, soothing sound environment that masks sudden noises. Sometimes, waking up at 2 a.m. can be a signal of an underlying health condition. While this is less common than the issues we've already discussed, it's important to be aware. Conditions like sleep apnea, where breathing is repeatedly interrupted during sleep, or restless leg syndrome, which causes an irresistible urge to move the legs, can severely fragment sleep and lead to awakenings at all hours, including 2 a.m., gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD, where stomach acid flows back into the esophagus, can also cause discomfort or coughing that wakes you up. If you suspect an underlying medical condition might be contributing to your nighttime awakenings, especially if you have other symptoms like loud snoring, gasping for air, persistent leg discomfort, or heartburn, it's really important to talk to your doctor. They can properly diagnose the issue and recommend appropriate treatment. Don't try to diagnose these things yourself, but be aware that they can be factors. Also, going back to medication for a moment, beyond those affecting the bladder, many different prescription and over-the-counter medications can affect sleep. These include some medications for blood pressure, asthma, depression, allergies, or even pain relievers that contain caffeine. If your sleep problems started or worsened after beginning a new medication, or if you're taking multiple medications, discuss your sleep issues with your doctor or pharmacist. They can review your medications and see if any might be contributing, and if there are alternative options or timing adjustments that could help. It's always best to consult with a healthcare professional before making any changes to your medication routine. As you can see, there isn't one single answer to why you're waking up at 2 a.m. It's often a combination of factors, some related to natural aging changes, others to our habits and environment, and sometimes underlying health issues. The good news is, by understanding these potential reasons, you can start to identify what might be affecting you and take practical steps to address it. Now, let's bring all this together and talk about how you can start putting some of these ideas into practice for a more restful night. We've explored quite a few potential reasons for that pesky 2 a.m. wake-up call. From the natural shifts in our sleep patterns as we get older, and the common need to visit the bathroom, to the impact of pain, our daily habits around food and drink, and the powerful influence of stress and our environment. We've also touched on how sometimes, less commonly, it could point to an underlying health matter that warrants a chat with your doctor. It might feel a little overwhelming seeing all these possibilities, but the key takeaway isn't to worry about every single one. It's about gaining insight and realizing that there are logical explanations, which means there are also potential solutions. You don't have to accept this as just the way it is now that you're over 60. Small, consistent changes can genuinely make a difference. Think of it like detective work, gently investigating what might be happening in your own life that aligns with these common culprits. Maybe you realize you often have a cup of tea or a glass of wine a couple of hours before bed. Perhaps you notice your mind starts racing the moment you're lying there in the dark. Or maybe it's just that nagging lower back ache that seems worse at night. Start by focusing on one or two things that resonate most with you from what we've discussed. If you suspect the bladder issue, focus on fluid timing and maybe talk to your doctor. If it feels like stress, start experimenting with a calming wind-down routine or journaling. If pain is the issue, discuss pain management strategies with your healthcare provider and ensure your sleep setup is supportive. Be patient with yourself. Changing sleep patterns takes time and consistency. Don't expect a perfect night's sleep immediately after making a change. It's about building new habits and allowing your body and mind to adjust. Sometimes, the hardest part is the anxiety about waking up. If you do wake up at 2 a.m., try not to get frustrated. The more you worry about being awake, the harder it is to fall back asleep. Instead of lying there tossing and turning for ages, if you find yourself awake for more than about 20 minutes, it can be helpful to get out of bed for a little while. Go to another room. Keep the lights dim. Do something quiet and non-stimulating like reading a book by a soft light or listening to quiet music. Only go back to bed when you feel genuinely sleepy again. This helps your brain associate your bed with sleeping, not with lying awake frustrated. It's counterintuitive, but it works for many people. Remember, perfect, unbroken sleep isn't the only goal. And frankly, it's not something most people, regardless of age, experience every single night. What's more important is the quality of your sleep overall and how you feel during the day. If you wake up but can easily fall back asleep, that's generally not a problem. The issue arises when you wake up and struggle for a long time to get back to sleep, leading to daytime fatigue. By addressing the potential underlying reasons we've discussed, whether it's adjusting your evening routine, managing stress, optimizing your bedroom environment, or seeking medical advice for persistent issues, you increase your chances of either sleeping through the night or being able to fall back asleep quickly if you do wake up. And here's that surprise I mentioned at the beginning. The surprising truth might be that waking up briefly during the night is actually a very natural part of human sleep history. Before electric lights, people often had 2 periods of sleep separated by a period of wakefulness during the night. The expectation of one long, unbroken block of sleep is relatively modern. So, while constant 2 a.m. wake-ups that leave you exhausted are definitely something to address, the occasional brief awakening isn't necessarily a sign that something is wrong. The real power comes from understanding why you might be waking and, more importantly, learning how to soothe your mind and body so you can either drift back off or reduce the frequency of those frustrating awakenings. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and simple tools to improve your sleep, not just chasing an often unrealistic ideal of perfect, uninterrupted sleep. Take heart in knowing that you have agency in this. You can make changes, big or small, that can lead to more restful nights and more energetic days. Don't feel discouraged if one thing doesn't work. Try another. Sleep is a complex thing, and finding what works best for you is a personal journey. Remember, Small steps can add up to make a significant difference in your sleep quality and your overall well-being. You deserve to feel rested and vibrant. If any of the things we've talked about resonated with you, or if you found something else that helps you sleep through that 2 a.m. hour, I'd love to hear about it. Sharing your experiences in the comments below can help others in our community too. Your insight might be just what someone else needs to hear. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more videos aimed at helping you live your best life at every age. Thank you for watching, and here's to many more peaceful nights ahead.